A thread by Carlos Osuida. A leftist wrote to me that I'm a fool for not bothering to listening to Amy Klobuchar. I responded that after what the Democrats have done to President Trump, I will never again listen to them under any circumstances. Here's a simple illustration to help Dems understand. For those of you listening, it's a photograph of an old man being beaten by a young man. Speech bubble coming out of the young man's mouth. Why won't you listen to all the good points I'm making? Carlos continues. When the Democrats got Obama, they became psychotically belligerent. When their lady of the circus tent didn't win, they became even worse. I'm done. I don't see the Democrats reforming themselves in my lifetime. The Democrats are dead to me. I don't watch any hearings or press conferences. The only time I pay attention is when someone cleans a Democrat's clock, or when the Democrats clean their own clock. Link in the thread, inspired by actual events. Text Trump to 88022. Another reason I won't listen to Democrats is that they have no learning curve. The Kavanaugh hearings were a massive strategic blunder. So they're going to try again with Barrett. When I wrote about my experiences with Obamacare, Democrats told me that they don't care. I know they don't care. That was the point of the thread. If you tell a Democrat why you can't support them, they will do exactly what it is that you've just told them is the reason you can't support them. Pure insanity. The Democrats are now begging people to vote in person. Too late. Check out this frenzy from the AP. Here's the Google slug, as it's called. The latest. Florida reports 107 more COVID-19. AP News. Florida. But then go to the article. The URL says Melbourne. Let's check out this. Let's check out the. Oh, look. Okay, here it is. Here's the URL. And it says Melbourne. Okay. The article description says Philippines. And here's a picture of the URL. And now the article is about Wisconsin with a photo of David Icke. William Butler Yeats was writing about the Democrats, not the rest of us, in his poem, The Second Coming. Things fall apart, the center cannot hold, mere anarchy is loosed upon the world. The blood-dimmed tide is loosed, and everywhere the ceremony of innocence is drowned. The best lack all conviction, while the worst are full of passionate intensity. The rest of us are fine. We're voting in person. We know the facts about the pandemic. It's worth a slight risk to re-elect the best president in our history. I'm doing it for others, not me. The Democrats know that mail-in voting will screw them, not us. Good. They created about 30 different monsters that are now tearing them to shreds. Nobody deserves it more. The Battle of the Golden Spurs, July 11th, 1302, pitted French noblemen against Flemish shopkeepers. The shopkeepers rose up after 2 years of French occupation. The French sent an army of 8,500 against the shopkeepers in the town of Courtrai. There were 1,000 pikemen, 1,000 crossbowmen, 3,500 infantry, and 3,000 men-at-arms. Men-at-arms were mounted knights in armor. Noblemen. The French expected a quick victory. Here's what they refused to accept. Flemish militia trained constantly. They wore chainmail armor, and they used pikes. It was impossible to reach them. The men in front skewered attackers, and the men behind reached in between the front line and stabbed. The French knights charged, and they got pushed into the pikes by the men behind them. The stabbers finished them off. It was a rout. The French fled the battlefield, having suffered 1,500 killed to the Flemings' 200. That's what happens when you refuse to learn about your enemy, when you automatically hold your enemy in contempt, when you're cognitively rigid, and when you won't learn from your mistakes. You get your ass kicked. The Democrats are incapable of saying anything I need to hear. In 8 years, I listened to one Obama speech. I killed bin Laden. Other than that, zip. Did I miss anything?